Hey there, folks. Santee at the Arizona Ghost Riders here. Annie Oakley, a little sure shot. It's a good subject. Let's check it out.
Now, I want you to miss this one, just till you get the feel of it. You can miss by a lot, darling. That was good. That was right in the middle. Did you want to hit it in the middle?
Annie Oakley is pretty much an old Westian household name. She was much more than a sharpshooter from Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Let's investigate. Phoebe Ann Mosey was born on August 13, 1860 in Darke County, Ohio. Obvious joke and not funny. Can we get the lights back on, please?
Oh, this is just stupid.
Annie, as she was called, had a lot of siblings, and the untimely death of her father threw the family into poverty. At age 9, she went to work basically as a live-in slave to a couple who treated her poorly. 2 years later, she left those abusers and eventually made it back home. Still in a tough spot financially,
Damn! We're in a tight spot.
Annie helped the family by shooting wild game and selling it to local businesses. It would appear she was quite the expert marksman. At age 8, she shot a squirrel off a fence, being careful to get a headshot so the family could get all of the meat. This talent eventually got the house mortgage paid off.
They cost me fancy prices. The hunter always hits them in the head.
That's right, boss. That hunter sure is a shooting fool.
Also, the squirrel population in Ohio has not yet fully recovered. In 1875, 15-year-old Annie joined a competition against a traveling sharpshooter named Frank Butler. A young girl with a rifle was a fairly comical sight at the time.
Hey, MacIver, is this your idea of a joke? Asking me to shoot against a half-baked kid, and a girl at that?
But she beat Butler. Instead of hating Annie for the embarrassment, Frank fell in love with her.
Hold a man in your arms is wonderful.
They were married a year later. However, there is another story that they didn't marry until the 1880s, but the records are kind of sketchy. Regardless, them two got hitched. She started going by Annie Oakley. The origin of that last name is not certain. I read it was a neighborhood she lived in, or the guy who paid her train fare. Regardless, Annie started performing with Frank at the behest of a heckler who said, "Let the girl shoot." Yeah, it would appear Frank had a bad night behind the sights.
Afraid it's useless.
The famous Buffalo Bill was interested in Mrs. Oakley, but he already had a sharpshooter in his troop. Due to a tragic steamboat accident, the injured man decided to leave the Wild West show, and Cody snapped up Annie and Frank in 1885. In that show, she became friends with Chief Sitting Bull, who loved watching her split playing cards at 30 paces.
Hiya, Chief.
Being in Cody's show let her travel around America and to Europe. In 1887, she won a shooting competition at Wimbledon in England against her rival Lillian Smith, receiving high praise from Edward, the future king.
I was your son before I became your king. If I am king.
You are king.
Little Sure Shot even offered to round up 50 lady sharpshooters to serve in the Spanish-American War. They would even supply their own weapons and ammunition. As intriguing as that was, the idea was turned down. I guess America wasn't ready for women in the military.
How strong do you have to be to pull a trigger?
That was quick.
It's important to know that she was basically an American sweetheart. The public loved her, and she was the highest paid performer in Cody's show. Sadly, in 1901, a train accident decimated Buffalo Bill's whole empire. He never fully recovered from it, and Annie and Frank moved on to do more stage shows. She continued to delight audiences by shooting coins out of the air and winning competitions. The couple also did a lot of charity work for the American Red Cross and others. Annie and Frank never had children, and the two remained together until she passed away on November 3, 1926. 18 days later, Frank died. The whole history surrounding Little Sure Shot is pretty amazing. There weren't very many women back then who not only regaled the kings and queens of Europe, but also gained the love and respect of her own country. Alright folks, that's it for another episode. Thanks for watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on down the trail. waiting for the truck to go by. And the car following it to go by. The struggle is real. Oh, Henry! Henry! Come on, buddy boy. Hey, Henry, little snacker. Hi, buddy. How are you? It's good to see you. Doing good? Oh, you want to play my finger? No, don't do that.